Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today I'm pleased to show you how to hardwire front and rear dashcam from my 2019 Audi RS5. To be honest, this method also applies to B9 Audi A5 and S5 Sportback. In general, the same idea can apply to any modern vehicles. This how-to video has 4 parts. The first part, I will show you the basic tools I would use for installation. The second part, I will show you how to hide the wire routes from the dashcam to the footwell fuse box. The third part, I will show you how to choose the right fuses to connect to the 3 different wires from the dashcam hardware kit. The last part, I will talk about the challenges I faced during the installation. Hope you will like my video. Let's get started. Here are the tools you will need to complete this installation. A small size flat screwdriver or small flat tip trim piece, as you can see here. A shop light, which will light your workspace since you are working under the driver's foot space. A T30 Torx bit and a wrench to unscrew the footwell cover, and one 8mm socket for the screw to the ground wire, and a digital circuit tester to justify the fuse. I found it easier to use this one other than a multimeter. Your dashcam and handlebar kit, which will be compatible with your device. In my case, I have to use the hardware coming from the dashcam in order to make a 24-hour surveillance function and time-lapse recording function to work. Unfortunately, I didn't film the hardware kit, but here's the picture of the hardware kit if you would like to know. Finally, a trim tool that will help you to tuck the wires into the headliner to make it invisible. In my case, the trim tool is included in the dashcam kit. That's a plus for me. If you are interested in my dashcam, please check the web link of the dashcam in the description. Alright, let's get into the next part. As you can see, I choose to put the dashcam on my driver's side. This is because it's easier for me to check footage and control the dashcam in case I need to make adjustment in an emergency situation. You believe it or not, I didn't find it is to distract or block my view at all, but it is your own preference. You can also stick it on the passenger side. Now, following my finger, this is the route I choose to run the cable to the fuse box. The hardware kit cable starts from here, goes to the headliner from the driver's side, right here, going this way, from the headliner to the weather strip. I tuck it in the cable into the weather strip and goes down. As you can see, there are some cables is still exposed outside, and all the way down, and then goes to the footwell. Next, for the rear dashcam cable, I choose to run the cable from the passenger side and all the way back to the trunk. This is because I found that the headliner in this car is connected so well to the shield structure. There aren't too much space for me to tuck cable in. However, there's a sensor box in between the driver side and the passenger side. You have to take this cover off. In order to hide the cable from the dashcam goes to the headliner, you need to use the trim tool to take off the cover and hide the cable inside the cover. Therefore, you just need to pop the cover from here on both ends, which is here and here. Use a trim piece, pop it up, and the cover can be taken off easily. Once you've done this part, following my finger, this is the route I choose to run my cable. To the weather strip, goes down, all the way down, and goes up. You can go this way or you can go this way up to the top liner. Which way you prefer? You can do the same on the back seat. Tuck the cable inside the weather strip. Goes up all the way down. And here you see the cable, right? There's no way to tuck the cable inside this headliner. The space is too tight. And anyway, it's invisible actually from the outside. I don't sit in the back seat, so it's okay. And go all the way in. And get down the back seat so you can see. You see? It's from here to here. And then here the cable. Connect to the backup camera. And here's the cable from the headliner. Tuck the cable inside the weather strip. And here the dash cam, the rear dash cam. Because this is a hatchback, so if you want 100% hidden wheel, you have to take off the headliner, right? You need to take off the hose as well as this back plastic panel. So basically your wheel goes into this hose all the way up to this panel, and it can stick a camera on the back of the windshield. Okay, once cable goes here, use a flat screwdriver to pop this cover off. As you can see, there's a notch for you to insert the flat screwdriver. Just like that. You can take this off very easily. Now there's one fuse box. This fuse box is for the cockpit. You don't have to use this one. As you can see, this is the cable. The cable goes from this way all the way down here, and there's a hole goes down to the footwell. Was to mention that I tucked all extra lengths of cable into the driver's side fuse box. There are plenty of spaces for you. You don't have to worry about there's no space to hide in extra cables. To open the footwell, there's a round plastic cover. You have to take it off. And there's a screw you need to unscrew to take it off the footwell cover. Once you take out the cover, you will see the entire fuse box. Okay, once you figure out the cable running routes, we can jump into the wiring. You will have 3 individual wires. One's called ACC, which equals to your car's accessory power. Ignition is on, but engine is off. This is when you press engine start-stop button when you don't have your foot on the brake pedal. In this mode, your power window, power seats, cigarette lighters, etc. are now having power. So this ACC wire needs to be connected to a fuse that have power in car accessory mode, but does not have power when the car is shut off. There's another wire called VCC, which is the red wire. This wire needs to be connected to a fuse box which has power all the time as long as vehicle's battery is connected, including when you shut off the car. Let's move on to the black wire. This black wire also is the ground wire. You have to connect to the wire to a metal surface. I find this is a perfect screw for me to secure the ground wire. This need to be unscrewed using an 8mm socket. Open your car's menu and go to your fuse box diagram page. This page will show you which fuse is for which components in the car. Definitely you would like to avoid connecting dashcam wire to some major fuses like engine valves, camshaft adjustment fuse, I also put the fuse diagram link in the description for Audi B9, A5, S5, RS5. You can check it online as well. As you can see, we have 5 fuse groups in different colors. Upper brown and lower red fuse group are live when engine is turned off. Upper right and up black fuse group are live when battery is connected. So our VCC plus wire need to be connected to one of the fuse in this group. Low black fuse group is live when the ignition is on. So our ACC wire need to be connected to one of the fuse in this group. If you don't know which fuse group when we will have power, the digital circuit tester is your friend. This is also useful to test my assumptions as well. Grab your tester, connect the clamp and to ground. I use this bolt as my ground connection. Then put the tester tip to the fuse contact point. There are 2 contact points on the fuse. Once the tip connect to the tip, if the fuse has power, the tester will light up and shows the voltage. As example, now the ignition is off. The VCC plus wire should have power, while the ACC wire should not have power. Let's see. The red wire is VCC. As you can see, the tester light up. Definitely electricity goes through this fuse. If we move to the ACC, as you can see, the tester doesn't light up. Now when I turn on the ignition, the VCC plus and ACC wires should have powers. Now you hear the sound. The ACC is turned on, the tester light up, then there's definitely electricity comes through this fuse. Same for the VCC plus wire. It light up. Alright. So the fuse I use is nice fuse from the top. For the ACC, I use the number 8 fuse on the black lower end fuse group. Installation is finished. Here I want to talk about some challenges I faced during the installation. First of all, I found this Audi's headliner is connected very tight to each other. In some areas, I can tuck the cable inside the headliner, so you may still see some areas the cable is still exposed previously in my video, but you can see it most of the time. This is my first Audi. I did a similar installation on my previous Mercedes, BMW, and Maserati. I never faced this issue. Secondly, my RS5 is a sportback. It makes hard to install the rear camera to the windshield. This can be done if you have patience and willing to take off the headliner and the trunk panel and hoses connect to the trunk, so you can hide your cable 100%. For me, this is not the risk I'm willing to take, so I rather leave it as is now. 95% satisfaction to me is acceptable. To summarize, I think there are the 2 major challenges you will face during the installation. This whole installation process took me about 2 hours in total because the cable is very hard to tuck into the headliner, so just be aware of that. If it is your first time hardware the dashcam, I suggest take your time. In the end, thanks for your time. If you like this video, please take a thumb up. If you have further questions, please leave a comment below and I will respond. Bye now.